Reddit has left me speechless once again. Think you've heard all the unbelievable cheating stories out there? Trust me, you haven't. Today, I'm going to share 3 confessions about infidelity. One from someone who cheated on their fiancé the night before the wedding, another from a woman who married for money only to be betrayed by her husband, and finally a cheater hunter who exposed 24 unfaithful men online. Ready? Because everything you're about to hear is real. Story 1. My husband said a bachelor party is for sleeping with someone else one last time. I've been married to my husband for 12 years. We have 3 kids, a small house in the suburbs, and what I thought was a happy marriage. I know no one is perfect. I'm not someone who demands too much or tries to control everything. But I've always believed in one thing: faithfulness is a line you don't cross, especially when you're about to commit to someone for life. Then, a story from the past I had never heard before made me look at the man I share a bed with every night in a completely different light. Last week, we brought the kids to a backyard barbecue hosted by one of his college friends. Everything was going well, until one of his old buddies, who used to be really close to him, started reminiscing about the good old days. He chuckled and said, "Remember your bachelor party, man? I still can't believe you picked the blonde over the brunette." I froze. Picked? I asked, picked who? The guy laughed and turned to me. "Oh, you didn't know? We got 2 girls for him that night, special dancers. Told him it was his last night of freedom. He got to pick one to have fun with." I was speechless. That night, after the kids had gone to bed, I confronted my husband. We were in our bedroom, and I asked, "I want to hear it from you. What happened at your bachelor party?" He was quiet for a moment, then rubbed his neck like I was asking what he wanted for dinner. "Well, yeah, there were 2 girls. We drank a lot. Things happened. But come on, babe, it was a bachelor party. You slept with someone else," I said, "the night before you married me?" He looked at me completely unfazed and said, "Everyone does it. Haven't you seen the movies? It's your last night to have fun, then you're committed for life." I didn't even know how to describe what I felt in that moment. It was like I had spent 12 years living in a house built out of sand, and only now did I realize it had no foundation at all. Just smooth lies, carefully layered. What hurt more was that he didn't even feel guilty. "That was so long ago," he said. "Why are you bringing it up now?" Because to him, it was old news. But to me, it never even had a chance to become news. He hid it from me for more than a decade. I didn't know what to do with that. I thought about our kids sleeping in the room next door. I thought about the times I'd turned down flirty co-workers, avoided temptation, stayed faithful not just because of a vow, but because I believed in us. And then I thought about him in a hotel room, choosing which woman he wanted to spend his last night of freedom with. I felt humiliated. I loved a man I thought had principles. Now, I only saw someone who thought cheating was a tradition. I didn't leave him. I didn't pack a bag or scream or break plates. But something inside me broke, quietly. I still play the role. I'm still the wife, the mom. But something in me has shifted. I no longer believe I'm special to him. Because if I was, he wouldn't have betrayed me the night before he vowed to love me forever. Maybe I'll forgive him someday. Maybe I'll let it go. But I will never forget. And if anyone ever asks me if I'll let my future son-in-law have a bachelor party, the answer is simple. Not a chance. Story 2. I married him for money, but he was the one who betrayed me first. I didn't grow up in love. I grew up in cold nights, empty stomachs, and a rusty old car where my mom and I lived for most of my childhood. There were nights she pretended to be mentally ill just to get extra welfare checks. Some months, she even kept me from going to school, not because she cared, but because, as long as I was still a child, she could get paid to raise me. So, when I say I married for money, I'm not ashamed. I married to survive, and I did it with all the clarity of a child who grew up in poverty. I met him while working a minimum wage job at a lousy diner. He was 9 years older, a regular customer, polite, charming, and rich in a way he didn't bother to hide. I didn't love him. In fact, early on, I stole money from his wallet when he accidentally left it behind. I thought, there's no way this guy sees a future with someone like me, but he came back. Again and again. He kept asking me out, kept bringing me gifts, even after I confessed about the money. And that's when I started to wonder, why me? A girl with no future, no education, nothing but a pretty face and survival instincts? After we got married, he paid for me to go to college. He said, "You deserve the same shot as everyone else." I got a degree in communications. No loans, no stress, all on his dime. I used to dream of having a stable job, traveling, living in a place with a dishwasher. Suddenly I had it all. And somewhere along the way, I fell in love with him. Slowly, unexpectedly. But then he cheated. Not once, multiple times. I knew. I found hotel receipts, hidden messages, a scent I didn't wear. And I didn't explode. I didn't cry or throw things. Instead, I sat at the dinner table across from him, watching him cut his steak like nothing had changed. And I thought, I love you, but I need you more than I hate you right now. I thought about leaving, but then I remembered my childhood. I remembered my mother crying herself to sleep, eating instant noodles for weeks. I remember hunger, and I knew my kids would never know that pain. Not if I stayed. So I stayed. I don't cry anymore when I see him texting late at night. I don't ask questions. I don't check his pockets. I cook, I clean, I raise our children. I wear nice dresses when we go out. I'm the perfect wife on the outside, but inside, I don't expect anything from him anymore. I used to be the girl who fell for the man who gave her a second chance at life. Now, I'm a woman who knows better. A woman who knows. Love doesn't pay the bills. Money does. Some days I look at him and wonder, if you hadn't cheated, would I have believed in real love? Maybe not. Maybe love was never real for someone like me. But I do know one thing. If he hadn't betrayed me, I might have loved him forever. He taught me how to live better. But he also taught me that no one is safe. Not even in marriage. I keep going. Because I have kids. Because I'm not poor anymore. Because I will never go back to that car where my mother and I once slept with empty bellies and broken dreams. Story 3. I pretended to be a hot girl online to expose 24 cheaters, and I have no regrets. It all started because I fell for the wrong man, a married man. We had only been dating for about a month when I started noticing red flags. He'd always hide his phone, turn it off when we were together, and he always had some excuse for not going home at night. One evening, I found his old Facebook account, and from there, I found his wife's profile. She was 7 months pregnant. I immediately gathered all the screenshots, messages, photos, and I sent everything to her. She was devastated, but somehow they stayed together. 6 months later, just out of curiosity, I checked a few dating apps, and there he was again. Same guy, this time, not even trying to hide. Full profile, full-on sleaze. I sent proof to his wife again. That time, she filed for divorce. And something in me clicked. If this guy could cheat so openly and get away with it for so long, how many other men were doing the exact same thing? That's when I created my fake profile. I used photos of a pretty flirty girl, not too flashy, but just enough to attract attention. Then I started hanging around on forums, the kinds where married men look for discreet fun or complain about their wives not being loving anymore. And let me tell you, the number of married men out there actively cheating online? Shocking. They'd message me with stories about how their wives didn't understand them, how they still had needs, or how it didn't count as cheating if it was just online. I played the part. I acted like I was into married men. I let them talk. I collected screenshots. And once I had enough dirt, I told them who I really was and what I was going to do. The begging usually started right away. Some tried to bribe me. One guy even offered me $10,000 just to keep my mouth shut. I didn't take a cent. Because for me, it wasn't about the money. It was about waking women up. Women who, like me, believed they were safe. To this day, I've exposed 24 married men. 8 of their wives were pregnant when I reached out. 3 of them are now using my evidence in their divorce cases. The rest either ignored me or blocked me. And no, I don't feel guilty. Some people say I'm a homewrecker. But the truth is, I didn't break their homes. They did. I just held up a mirror. I've since deleted all my fake accounts. I've moved on. I'm in a new relationship now with someone honest and someone who doesn't make me feel like I need to double-check everything. But before I disappeared, I posted one final message. If you're a married man cheating and you think no one will ever find out, think again. Because one day, you'll come across someone like me, and when you do, your wife will know everything. Cheating might seem normal to some people, but every action comes with a price. Sometimes it's trust, and sometimes it's an entire family. So, what do you think? Which one of these confessions shocked you the most? Leave a comment below, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to hear more stories like this. I'm Cheating Story, and I'll see you next time with another confession, maybe even crazier than this one.